Good evening.
My name is Anita, and today I would like to talk about the power of youth volunteerism in transforming communities and rethinking systems of justice, learning, and belonging. I remember the anticipation we all felt embarking on our first visit to the Child Development Center. We really felt the whole array of emotions, and even organizing the volunteer visit, I was also nervous. We were all worried that there was going to be cultural clashes between us and the children. But reflecting on our experience, we really realized that this visit was one of the most valuable moments in our lives. These small moments with the children, drawing with them, dancing with them, singing with them, and simply being with them, didn't change the world. But they changed us, and they changed the way that we made sense of the world. There's this common misconception of justice, that it should be restricted to courtrooms and laws. Who here agrees with this statement, that justice should be restricted to courtrooms and laws? Who here disagrees? Yeah? Well, I also disagree, and I would like to challenge that idea. I believe that justice is about connection. And when young people volunteer with empathy, they begin to change the very systems that they have been born into, making them more just and more inclusive for all members of society. So, on that note, justice can look like a young person choosing connection over engaging in something meaningless. It can look like a group of young, eager student volunteers going out into their community and volunteering. Now, I would like to throw some numbers at you, some statistics that have been conducted through global studies. 689 million people live with less than $3 a day, according to the World Bank. According to UNESCO, 129 million girls are out of school. And according to a collaborative study that has been done with UNICEF, 1 out of 4 people don't have access to clean, safe drinking water. And according to yet another collaborative study with UNICEF, 160 million children are subjected to child labor. That's 1 out of every 10th child. These statistics are real, and they're devastating, but they're not enough. Because justice doesn't come from numbers. It comes from understanding. And when young people volunteer, not as saviors, but as listeners and learners, they begin to see the system behind the struggle. And they begin to question these systems. And they begin to ask themselves, what can I do to make these systems more inclusive for everyone? And this is how we can truly change our systems. Now here I have 2 quotes. If you spend your time judging, you won't have time to love. And justice is what love looks like in public. These 2 quotes are interrelated, and they both stress the significance of empathy and connection and justice in today's society. Now, volunteering transforms learning. It turns empathy into action and awareness into experience. Young people are able to understand that learning isn't just there to benefit themselves, rather, it is there for them to help others. And this is when education becomes a force for equity and not elitism. This brings us to the concept of dual benefit. When I started volunteering, I was thinking, how can we make this experience the best for all stakeholders? And in dual benefit, all stakeholders can draw a benefit from the experience. Now, the communities grow, yes, but the volunteers also draw great benefits through being able to develop these soft skills that today's society often neglect, yet which are essential for today's society to function. These skills include soft leadership, humility, communication, respect, resilience, and so on. Now, as I started volunteering, I created this concept or this slogan of HHC, landing a hand, touching a heart, and encouraging choice. Lending a hand on the physical level and touching a heart on the emotional level of mutual support and kinship, and encouraging choice. Because every individual has the right to make a choice. Every individual should have the right to the education that they need in order to make an informed choice. Now, this might sound a little bit wordy, but inspiring young people to inspire other young people. This creates a global network of mutual support and service-minded individuals, and that is exactly what we need to transform our systems. Volunteering creates a sense for belonging. Through volunteering, young people are able to learn their values, their norms, their traditions, their customs, and their cultural heritage. And through that, one day, it won't be them and us. It'll just be us. A global community which embraces diversity while still acknowledging that we're one society looking to improve our systems. And that is the goal that unites us all. We must transform these systems with empathy. And we must be able to see what other people see. We must be able to put ourselves into other people's shoes, also known as the sociological concept of Verstehen, where you put yourself into other people's shoes and you try to see the world through their eyes. Now, I have a hypothetical example to demonstrate how these new systems could solve these global problems. So here you can see a family on a rice farm. But this is not any family. This family lives in a rural community far away from the city, and this family has a very special way of growing rice. No other family has ever found out how this tradition works, yet somehow they are able to grow the most delicious rice. However, recently, a corporation has purchased the rights to their rice, the rights to sell and to eat the rice, so the family who actually grows it is no longer able to consume it or even give it out to their community members. Is this just? Well, today's systems would say, no, this is not just, but their solution would likely be to take this family and put them into an urban area where they would be subjected to minimal wage and probably they would be struggling in every single aspect of life. Today's systems would say, no, you don't have to continue living there in your village. You must be struggling so much, you'll be better in the city. However, these new systems would say that the cooperation should be punished through sanctions and that the family should regain their rights to the rice. Because these new systems aren't there to erase culture. They aren't there to erase tradition. No. They're there to preserve these special, unique practices that have been passed down in families for generations. Now, when we rethink these systems of justice, learning, and belonging, we must begin with the people that the systems are meant to serve. Too often when systems are being changed, they're being changed by unknown entities from above, yet the people who are most affected by these changes rarely get a say. In the future, these changes should be made by every single member of society. And how can we make these changes? Well, start young and start through service and start through listening. Volunteering isn't just a side project, it's the blueprint to better systems. Now, I would like to give you a few seconds to ponder upon this idea. So, in order to transform our systems, we have to start young, start through listening, start through service, and start through choosing. Because remember, HHC, the C, stands for encouraging choice. And these systems can only be transformed when every single individual starts to realize that they have this power to choose. And when people start choosing empathy over apathy and kindness over conflict. Because when young people volunteer with empathy and curiosity, they don't just give their time, but they begin to change the systems from the ground up. Because justice doesn't rain down from above. Justice happens when we all unite. So if you ask me how these systems can be transformed and where justice can truly happen, I say justice thrives where we unite. Thank you.